In the heart of the city, where dreams come alive, B-Up's on the mic with that fire in his eyes. From the court to the field, every game, every fight, he's the voice of the struggle under stadium lights. He's seen the highs and the lows, the wins and the pain, every triumph and tear, every loss in the rain. But through it all, he stands tall, never backs down, with a heart full of love for this sports-loving town. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Every story, every glory, every promise we keep. From the love of the game to the struggles we face, he's the voice of the people in the sacred space. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. Sports talk we watch, where the passion runs deep. There's a love in the air for the game and the grind, for the players who hustle, leaving it all behind. Through the sweat and the tears, the blood.
What's going on? What's going on, family? Hey, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday evening. You're watching Sports Talk with B. Watts. I'm your host, Bernard Watts. The only thing I ask that to do, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. And also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to Sports Talk with B. Watts. And anything that you do to continue to support the broadcast, it is highly appreciated by joining the membership or through Super Chats or Cash Apps. All right. Getting ready to do part two of The Last Dance. Now, I know JR Boxing is on vacation. He won't be joining us tonight. I'm still waiting on Steve Whitland, Uncle Steve, to log on. And we'll get this thing started. But before all that, hey, let me say hello to the chat. Got to say hello to Miss Kimberly Nash Williams, Miss Crystal Wise Williams. What's going on? How you doing? I love CC is in the building, family. She's in the building. Truth ain't true. Mississippi Aunt T has arrived. Good evening, everyone, she says. Appreciate you. I love CC saying hello to the beautiful people. Also, we got RDRD. Let's see. Uncle Steve said he didn't get the link. I thought I sent it to him. Let me send it to him one more time. Fun. Y'all bear with me for a few. Miss Phyllis Smith, what's going on? What's going on? Let me get this link to Uncle Steve. I'm out the bag out for a few. Let's see. The Last Dance. Yeah, he right. I didn't send it to him. Yeah, he right on this one. My bad, my bad. I had so much going on today. My bad, big dog. But once again, like I say, we're getting ready for this Last Dance part 2. If you just in case you missed part 1, you need to go back and check it out. Hit the like button. Hit that like button for us, all right? I apologize to Uncle Steve. I forgot to send him the link. 767 is in the building. Callan Shepard is in the building. TC, what's going on? Appreciate you. Miss Phyllis, did you get my email? Okay. She talking to Miss Phyllis. What's going on, Miss Phyllis? Robinson, what's going on? Hey, Robinson, you here, man? Robinson. It- that Robinson don't be holding back, boy. She tell it like it is. Appreciate you rocking with me, though, Rob. Robinson here, man. She don't hold back, y'all. She don't. Coach Dre is in the building. He's in the building. He's in the building. Uh, hey, man. Hey, hey, she don't hold back, man. DJ H is in the building. Don't forget this Saturday. It's ladies' night, y'all. Miss Phyllis Smith and her crew, they gonna hold it down for me. They gonna hold it down. I'm gonna be in the chat. I'm gonna be in the chat, supporting them as usual. Tim Isaac, what's going on? Jabal, what's up? Y'all do me a favor by hitting that like button. Hit the like button for me. Hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. All right. What's going on, Miss Sarah? Simply Sarah. Haven't seen her in a while. We appreciate you though for dropping by. We really do. Roger, what's up? You all right? Appreciate y'all. Me and Steve gonna be here in about 50 minutes to give y'all one of the best shows you ever gonna have. All right. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. I think I got everybody. Hello, how you doing? 1949. How you doing? X in the cut is in the building. Let me bring up the man of the hour, Uncle Steve, and we finna get into this show. My dog is in the building. My dog, big dog. My bad, big dog. My bad. Yeah. I slipped there. I slipped. I slipped, big dog. You know I do it every now and then. How was your day, bro?
My day is fantastic, fantastic. How about yourself, sir?
Hey, been busy, bro. Been busy, man. Got caught up in this storm. You know what's going on in Georgia. Every Tuesday, one storm. Everybody's saying, said, I love CC. Said, what's up, Unc? All right, Uncle Steve. We doing JR's on the ship out there in the far sea somewhere. I guess he head over there where Trump at. They had to do some things over there in Ireland. So we talked it up
At
last
least
week. So
it's
they
not
called. He back
snowing.
gonna do that.
Hey, at least it's not
Yeah,
snowing. We ain't
them
got to worry
bunnies
about
ain't
no
out there.
bunnies. We ain't got to worry about no bunnies
No, we
over
ain't got to
there.
worry about them bunnies, big dog. No, we ain't got to worry about them bunnies. He out there fighting them sharks today. Yeah. Oh, but let's get into this thing. All right, this part two. We're doing our episode of The Last Dance of Shilo, Shedeur, Travis with Coach Prime at Colorado in 2024. So let's get right into it. Where we left off, we did the first four games, and we're gonna revisit the next four games. And the game that's on up front, I think, is Colorado versus UCF. What I remember about that game is, man, Coach Prime going home to the state of Florida. We coming off a good winning streak. And when you look at it, man, one play that I liked it and I remember about this game is when Shedeur dropped that back and just threw that ball. Man, I thought it was gonna be an interception. When you throw that thing to Will Shepherd down there in the end zone, Will Shepherd came out of nowhere. But we were texting and said, "Whoa, what did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that?" So when you look at the game, even though we left Florida with a win, it was rain and delay, everything. I think JR and Greg was at the game. They was getting us play by play on text message, but we won the game 48-21. When you look at the game, what was some of your memories about the game?
My memories of the game was this here. It was a complete game to me as far as CU, the running game and the passing game. It also showed me when two threw that interception at the beginning of the game, and
Oh
then
yeah.
UCF started driving, and it was my boy Hodge who was in the end zone, who caught an interception and got the ball back, which just flipped the game around for us. And then when after that, what I remember also was this one here. Pat Shermer called one heck of a game. He
Right.
mixed it up, and that it was a beautiful game as far as CU. They were focused, they were physical, and they were prepared. So that's what I remember about the game. When you have a game like that, it's like, man, they dominated that game. And it was good to see. It was good to see, much needed, and it was good for us to see them go to Florida. Them Florida boys, like Coach Dre say, them Florida boys went down there and they put their feet on that coffee table. It was muddy. Their feet were muddy, had mud all on it and everything. And they went down there and put their feet on their coffee table. Then they took the old lady from them, the girlfriends from them after the game, and then they took the recruit. This the good part about it. That was the best recruiting. The best part of it was that was the best recruiting CU could have ever done. All the recruits that came there, if you look at them, a lot of them switched around and came to Colorado. So it was awesome. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah, I like that game. Like you said, when Preston Hard made that interception in the end zone, because when Shedeur threw his interception, we said, oh, man, here we go again with this slow start. Then quarterback threw it right back to Preston Hard. He made the interception. And to me, out of the whole season, I think this game here set the tone for them offensively, because they were hitting on all cylinders. They were running the ball. Michael was running. Everybody was running the football. Shedeur was on. He was on his game, except that interception. Travis always had a good game, and I think this was the best game. Like you said, Pat Sherman's in his bag. If he can get in his bag this year like he did that game, because they played an all-around game. They ran the ball real well. Well,
let me give you some numbers which shocked me. Let me throw this at
Talk
you.
to me. Go ahead.
If I tell you total yards, one team had 461 and the other team had 418. People out there in the chat, which team would you put down? Which team you think had 461 total yards, and put down which team you think had 418 total yards? That's the first thing. That's for the people in the chat. Next thing, let's throw this out there. 2 was 28 for 35, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 rushes for 15 yards. You got old Travis, Mr. Hunter, 9 receptions, 89 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 tackles, and 1 interception on defense. When you look at this here, you saw CU had 1 interception against them. And then you had UCF, they had 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. So when you look at this game, you would be like, oh man, CU. And check the possession out. The possession for CU was 29 minutes and 57 seconds. The possession for UCF was 30 minutes and 3 seconds. So when you're looking at it, you're like, wow. But let me give you the answer. UCF had a total yards was 461 yards. And the score is 48 CU, 21 UCF. You had Colorado total yards was 418 yards. That the story is this: Colorado played such a clean and disciplined and controlled game in this one here. They scored almost every time they had the ball. Other than that interception, they didn't score every time, but they scored. When they got the ball on, you can look at 80% of the time they scored. So that's a very positive thing you're seeing there. And what I liked about the game was this one here. They gave up some yards, but they didn't give up scores, a lot of scores when you look at it. So that was an awesome game. I think it showed that Pat Shermer can really dial it up when he wants to dial it up and need to. And it just prepares us for this year that if he's doing that, we should look for some very good things. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah, okay, Steve. What was Shedeur numbers again?
28 for 35, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Man, once again, that show you how accurate he is. It shows you, once again, his pass completion percentage. He only missed 7 throws.
A couple of drops.
Yeah, that's
on those short bubbles. On those short bubbles, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the most dependable person dropped one in that one. If I have to go back and check, LaJonte, I think he might have dropped a little bubble or something, or Travis did one. So he had a couple drops in that game too. And When he put that ball down, he put it down 28 for 35. And considering that he did have a couple of drops in that game, that's awesome.
Wow.
Back to you, B-Ross.
Wow. Wow. Okay then. But man, that consistent of Shedeur throwing the football, his pass completion. It's just unbelievable and undeniable. I don't care what nobody says, Steve. He should have been on that Heisman Trophy finalist candidate.
He definitely should have. What you have is this one here. They did not want to have two CU players on that stage. They still had two CU players on the stage because he came there and represented and supported Travis. But if you're looking at the numbers, when you're looking at the numbers in the year that he had, you can't break all of those records and do what he did without. And let's go again. Let's be honest. The running game wasn't there. I'll put it this way. They didn't emphasize the running game. And it was, so that means the running game wasn't there. And if you don't have a running game and your offensive line was average, it says a lot, because let's go this way. How good was Cam Ward's offensive line? How good was Cam Ward's running back? Running back is a NFL. I'm looking at NFL players when it comes to his team. And when you look at the other teams, when you look at Dylan Gabriel had 5 stars everywhere. So when you're looking at those things, I look at him. This is what I look at for a Heisman Trophy. Does this person impact the game in a way in which if he's off, game over? That to me is a Heisman Trophy winner, because I need to see when that player is in the game, not only are you double teaming that, not only are you game planning for that person, you have to go out and do special things to ensure that person don't get off. And then that person still, after all of that recognition from the defensive coach or the offensive coach, whichever side you're on, you still perform at the highest level, and you do it in the crunch time. Those are Heisman Trophy candidates to me. A Heisman Trophy candidate is not somebody who manages a game, who has a running back that runs for 200 and some yards, who has receivers who are 5 stars, who have offensive line and 3 of the 5 go to the NFL. You're a game manager, and you're going to win with that kind of talent. So I just look at things a little differently with me. I look at special players that impact the game for Heisman Trophy, and no one in this chat cannot tell me that 2 was not an impact player that impacted every game. And if you can, we can look at the numbers. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. Peter said that's when I knew that defense was capable of shutting down an offense in that game there. Appreciate that comment. You're right, big dog. You're right on that comment. All right. Let's move on to the next game, and let's talk about this game right here. The next game that they played was against, as you can see it on the screen, Kansas State. We came home, I think, off a bye. Once that bye was over with, this is the game that we ran into. We ran into a buzzsaw, but that I thought we could have won. We had a chance to win it, put it like that. We ran into Kansas State, and they fought hard to come back in the game. When they was down, I think Colton Hood got an interception in that game. Then he tripped over a player. Matter of fact, he got a video right here. As you can see, we were losing that game, but we came up with the interception and we went on in there and scored. And at the end, they hit that long pass on us, and they went on to win the game. The score right there was 31-28. What are some of your memories of the game right there?
My memories. I got a question for you. What was the score in the Kansas CU game? Can you look that up? See what the score for that one?
Which one?
Yeah, for Kansas and Colorado. We played Kansas State, and we played Kansas and Colorado. See what the score was for that game, because it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting, because if you look at that game, Kansas State 31, Colorado 28. What was the one for Kansas?
37-21.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. When I look at this here game, I look at it this here way. I look at it as Shedeur Sanders. Oh wow. It was one of those games in which Kansas State dominated pretty much the whole game, and
Right.
Colorado still stayed in there and had an opportunity to pull it out at the end. And we failed to do that. It's one of those games that it showed me the grit of Colorado. It showed me that even when they played, when they didn't wrap up and all those missed tackles, they still were in the game defensively and offense, but the defense played tough. Uh, People like, well, they missed a lot of tackles. Absolutely. They missed a lot of tackles. They could have closed it out. But even with that being said, good teams still have opportunities to win the game. And they had an opportunity to win that game. I'm like,
Yeah, they
they
did.
had it. And I looked at it and I was like, well, what are we talking about? I'm like, the possessions was Kansas State 40 minutes and 11 seconds. Colorado 19 minutes 49 seconds. That game should have been a blowout when you got that number. But look at 0-2. 23 for 29, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. Travis, 8 receptions for 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 total tackles, 3 solo tackles. The penalties, you had 8 on Colorado for 65 yards. Kansas State 5 for 35. And then this is what the killer is. Rushing yards, 331 to 42.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
but
It's
it,
hard.
yeah, hard
It's
to be somebody
hard.
like that. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, hard that big dog. Yeah, hard that big dog. And also, Steve, I'm looking at it right here, right? Dallin Hayden was the leading rusher. He had 7 carries for only 11 yards. Come on, bro. Come on. And Shedeur Sanders, like you said, was 34 or 40. Once again, he only missed on 6 passes, 388 yards, 3 TDs, and 1 interception. But Omarion Miller, he went on to get hurt in that game. I think that's the game he got hurt in, but still
I
he
think
led the
so.
team in reception with 8 reception, and he had 144 yards. But here's the kicker though. DJ Gidding, the running back for Kansas State, he almost had 200 yards, 182
Yeah.
yards rushing, all 25 carries. You know, that's the game that Shilo, I think, missed 1 or 2 tackles in that game. Everybody jumped on him. But that wide receiver, that number 1 that caught that touchdown pass, he hurt us too, because he caught 6 passes for 121 yards, 2 TDs. And the quarterback, who we thought just gonna run, man, look, he was 15 or 23 for 224 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 interception.
But wasn't that the one that got hurt and then came back in?
Yeah, came back in. You know, he ran to the locker room.
Yeah,
He came
ran to
back
the
in. I
locker,
said, "Oh man,
came back in."
yeah."
I'm like, golly, that
Yep.
game was wild, man. Because once he went out with that rib injury or whatever he had. I was looking at it like, oh, this is the time. And that backup
Right.
quarterback came in there and drove him down that field. I was like,
Yep.
golly.
Yeah, he sure did.
He drove, and those are the opportunities as a team, and he did it because if you looked at it, they wore them linebackers out. They linebackers and the missed tackles. They wore them out that game. It was one of those games you just shook your head. You was like, they hit him behind the line of scrimmage, and the guy get 15, 20 yards. So it was one of those. It wasn't their best moment, but what it did show me, they had grit. That team had grit because any other team that give up that many rushing yards, it's a blowout. It is a rout.
Yep.
It's on that. It's not going to be even close. But see, you at the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, what 2 minutes, a minute and 30 or a minute and 40 to go, they up, or 2 minutes they up, and they gave up that bomb. They gave up that bomb, man to man. You winning, you winning, and you lost 4 receivers. They lost 4 receivers that game. Shepard got hurt, but Shepard left out but he was the last one because they lost Miller. They lost Shepard got hurt in that game. Travis got hurt in that game. And then LeJounte was still there. LeJounte didn't get hurt. And I think Tinsley got hurt. They lost a lot of receivers that game. And it was
Right.
like, hey, at the end of the game, that's the one they threw to if I'm not mistaken, they threw to Shepard on the side, and he couldn't make the catch over there. So it was an interesting game. But what I do like about it, CU played hard and tough. So it's just one of those things, and you have to like it. You have to like it. You have to respect those young men. And this is what I tell people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to criticize those young men for going out there. They did their best. It just wasn't meant to be. Gittens wasn't going to be tackled this game, man. That boy was not going to be tackled. So it is what it is. And you have to go from there. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah. So like I was saying, the receivers, like you said, we had a lot of receivers get hurt also. But still, like I said, Omarion Miller, 8 catches, 145 yards, and no TD. Will Shepard had 5 catches, 83 yards, 1 TD. LeJounte, 5 yards, 5 catches, 58 yards, and 2 TDs. And I don't think Jimmy Horn Jr. played in that game. I think he was out injured. Oh, so what? And then when you look, like I said, the running back, man, Dallin Hayden run the ball for 7 times. He got 11 yards. Isaiah Augustin, 3 times, 10 yards and 1 TD. Yeah. That was it right there. And Hill Green, he had 4 tackles. So just one kind of anytime a team score 31 points on you, really your defense that didn't come to play. That didn't come to play that game. That's all that was. They ain't come to play. They ain't come to play. The defense didn't. Because we thought the defense was getting ready to turn that corner, but they didn't. That just didn't rise up to that occasion. So that was that.
Well, if you put it,
all right, we're moving on to the next game.
If you put it up to Greg, Greg gonna tell you those late night games. they, those late night games. But I told when I was messing with Greg, I told Greg it's teams that play. It's 2 teams that play. So one team didn't have a problem with it, but the other team did. So I just look at it, hey, you got to be ready, man.
Right.
You got to be ready. So they weren't ready at that time, but they played hard. So you can only go from there.
Yeah, you're right. We're moving on to the third game. Colorado played Arizona. Colorado got their groove back. The defense played well. Travis was out that game, and that's when Colton Hood was on their number 1 wide receiver. He didn't catch but 2 passes on them. And you got to like the effort that they did when they came back off a loss. Some teams be down and out, but hey, they went into Arizona and did their thing on the road. And they still were ranked number 23. They ended up winning 34-7. So go ahead, give me your takes. I'm going to look up some stats and see what happened.
Okay, this is what I'm going to give you for Arizona. We're going to look at possession. For possession, you're going to look at Colorado had 30 minutes, 34 seconds. Arizona, 29 minutes, 26 seconds. Total yards for Colorado, 388. Total yards for Arizona, 245. Colorado wins the game 34-7. Shedeur Sanders, 23 for 33, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 7 rushes for 6 yards. Mr. Travis Hunter, 2 receptions, 17 yards, 1 total tackle, 1 solo. Shilo Sanders, he had 4 total tackles, 3 solos. And what you had in this game was interesting to me. Colorado played sloppy initially because at times, this is the game Zelenskis lost it. When they pulled him. They pulled Zelenskis in this game because of those snaps. And one of them wasn't his fault, but the other one was his fault. So with that happened, Cash came in. It was a different vibe at that time. But the game was a little sloppy with those handoffs from the quarterback to the center and everything. And then 2 wasn't the interceptions from Shedeur. So it wasn't like him to do something like that. But with that being said, this game, the defense dominated. I'm talking about that defense dominated, because if you look at those turnovers and
Right.
you look at the points where you had it where two and the center were not one, man, it could have got ugly in that game, but the defense told them you had Colton. This was Colton Hood's breakout game. And I have to tell you, Colton Hood picked that young man up and slammed him
Right.
on that thing. It told me right then, I was like, Colton, you got to
Right.
play this man. You got to play this man. Colton Hood, when Colton Hood got paid, that game right there, Colton Hood got paid. People took notice of Colton Hood that game because he popped off the film. You didn't have Travis. Travis was coming still injured, and Colton showed America, I'm ready for prime time, and that helped him get that nice endorsement that he got, which is awesome. What it also showed me was the defense was embarrassed from the last game because they heard about all those missed tackles, and it wasn't it was some head ringing in that game. If you go and remember, Hill Green then was hit. That's one game Hill Green then was hitting. So it was a very good game for Colorado's defense. They were exciting. I'm looking over there. I'm like, that's a game in which Arizona and UCF tapped out. One thing I can say, that game there, it's a few games that people tapped out for Colorado. Utah tapped out. Oklahoma State tapped out.
Oklahoma State. Oklahoma
Arizona
State.
tapped out. UCF tapped out. Those are games I can honestly say the team just said, well, Roberto Duran said, no mas, no mas. I don't want no more. I don't want no more of that beating. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
So congrats to
Yeah.
see you
Yeah.
in this game. They showed, and this is an example, B-Watts. This was not Tu's best game. Travis barely didn't even play. And people had the audacity to say,
Right.
well, how could they be better this year? This game tells you how they could be better this year. They didn't play great game. They really didn't play in those games, if you really look at the numbers wise. But what you see is this here. Other players made plays. And Colorado got even better players now. And they got better depth on this team. And this team here do not have to hear one thing. Two and Travis got to save today. They won't hear that no more. Now it's that we as a team have to go out and do our jobs. Each individual do their job collectively as one to win football games. So to me, I see them as a better team because I'd rather have depth and I'd rather have quality players as one compared to one or two superstars, because what you're going to notice, if the superstars aren't superstars, that's an L, baby. But if I got you playing as a team, I could have a couple people who don't play at that level, but if everybody playing and doing what they supposed to, we still can win that football game. And that's back to you, B-Watch.
Yeah, like I said, they bounced back on this game. Like you said, Shedeur Sanders was 23 or 33, 250 yards with 2 TDs, but he also had 2 interceptions. It wasn't one of his best passing games. He just missed over 10 passes, but still hit them 2 interceptions. And when you look at the running game, they tried to amp it up a little bit. IA, he ran the ball a total of 14 times with 53 yards and 1 TD. Charlie Offerdall, 7 carries, 53 yards. Dallin Hay only ran the ball 6 times for 35 yards, and Michael 1 time for 8 yards. And when you look at the receivers, it was LeJohntay, one of his best for his yardage-wise games of the year. 8 catches, 127 yards, but he didn't have no TD. Will Shepherd, 4 with 54 yards and 1 TD. D. Miller, 3 catches, 18 yards and 1 TD. Those are some of the stats that stood out to me in that game. And on the defensive side, you got Hill Green had a total of 8 tackles. Cameron Simeon Craig came up with 7 tackles. And Sam Okoloko had 2 sacks in that game, along with Keaton Wade. Them the two that dominated on that defensive side of the ball. Keaton Wade, like I said, and along with Sam Okaloka. They had those 2 sacks along with Arden Walker and Hill Green. Each one of them had sacks. So that defense stood up that game. That was a good thing. They bounced back on that game. The defense, they brought that one home. I don't know if nobody got any interception that game. I don't see it on the stat. Colton Hood got an interception that game. So, like you said, that was Colton Hood breakout party. That was his breakout party. All right, let's move on to the last game on the schedule is Cincinnati. Cincinnati. They won the game 34-23. I think they came back home. Let's see. Go ahead and give me your takes while I look it up.
Okay, this one I'm gonna give you for the Cincinnati game. Colorado won the game 34-23. The possession was 32 minutes, 42 seconds for Colorado. Cincinnati had 27 minutes, 18 seconds. Total yards for Colorado was 446. Total yards for Cincinnati was 351. Wow. Shedeur Sanders, 25 for 30, 323 yards, 2 touchdowns, QBR 91.6, 5 rushes for 1 yard. Travis Hunter, Mr. Heisman, 9 receptions, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17 yards per catch. On defense, he had 2 total tackles. He had 1 solo. Shilo had 6 total tackles, 5 solo. And in this game, what it showed me was this one here. 2 was surgical. He was surgical in this game. If you're looking at 25 for 30, 323 yards, he was spinning. They were spinning that football. And not only spinning that football, they were moving it down that field and they put it in the end zone. And that showed me that, hey, that because of the way they were scoring in the game, to me, this threw Cincinnati off because Cincinnati couldn't match them score for score. At the end, Colorado defense took their foot off the throttle, which they're going to have to get better with that one. They took their foot off the throttle because they had their foot on their neck, and then they took it off, and Cincinnati came up with some scores at the end. But with that being said, what I liked about this game, CU showed you just when they're focused on offense, they are totally different in football. They are totally different in football. They are an issue and a problem for any team, anywhere, anytime when they are rolling like this on offense. So it was a heck of a game. It was a heck of a game by the Colorado Buffaloes. And with that one, it was much, they were on a roll. That looked like a 3-game winning streak right there. So with that being said, it's a 3rd-game winning streak. And it was they were off and rolling after this here game. So great game for CU. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah, Colorado had a good time. Had a good game, especially Shedeur. Like you said, he was on. He only missed five throws, 323 yards, and 2 TDs, and no interception. That running game got going with Isaiah Augustin, IA. They let him ran that ball 22 times with 91 yards and 1 TD. That's what happened when you run the ball. Dallin Hay, he came in. He had 10. He took the ball 10 times, 36 yards. And Shedeur ran it 5 times for 1 TD. Travis Hunter, comeback game. They featured him, and he showed out. He did what he supposed to do. A Heisman Trophy winner would do. 9 catches, 153 yards. He averaged 17 yards a catch with total 2 TDs. Jimmy Horn Jr., he had a good game. 5 catches, 78 yards. LaJohntay Webster, 5 catches, 56 yards. D. Miller, a freshman, 2 catches with 27 yards. But on the defensive side, Cameron Simeon Craig stood up in that paint with a total of 8 tackles, along with Shilo with a total of 6. They led the teams in tackles. And for as interceptions, I don't see any. Jimmy Horn Jr. had 2 punt returns, total 8 yards. LaJohntay Webster had 1 with total of 13 yards. Let's see. Anybody else stood out in that game? Mate. He had three punts. He averaged They had him. They got him down with 114 yards. So that was good on that. And Mata was 2 for 2 in that game on field goals. So them the games that Colorado had in the middle of the season, which was on their way to a good season. Like I said, they ended with 9-3, plus they lost that bowl game. But it just shows you, if they focus and discipline, what they can do to a football team.
Hey, B. Watts, do me a favor. You got this big old picture in the way, and I'm a good looking person. I don't know if you know you might not want to show your face, but if you're gonna do that, put us on the side so they at least they can see, hey, you talking and everything else. You got the picture covered yourself where you can't see you talking and things like that. They can hear your voice, but people want to see the real deal, Holyfield. So if you're gonna do it, move us to the side. That's just a suggestion. I don't know much, but it makes it better for viewing for everybody if that's happened. So just a suggestion, sir.
I got you. I don't have no more pictures. But that's all the 4 games that I got. But also during that stretch, they had a lot of wide receivers get injured. That kind of problem. It could have hurt, but it didn't. That let you know that the depth of the team that they have came in play. With that wide receiver coach, he got everybody ready for game time, because in that Kansas State game, I think about 4 or 5 on went down.
Well, it's not just him. You got to look at Mathis too. Mathis had a lot of injuries when he got Hodge, and he had Travis injured. Those are your best players. You got your best players coming out, and that defense still stood in the paint. But, people. Let me explain something to people. People, and I'm gonna explain something to you. People really don't understand how good Stoudemire is. Name me a player that you can put at cornerback, you can put at safety, and you can move, and then you can put him in the slot on there, and you can move him all the way around the field, and he's still productive. We want somebody who is a game changer. He can be a game changer, but he needs to be in one position. If they would have kept him at safety the whole time, he'll be coming up in his second year, going into his third year playing one position. But because he's a Swiss Army knife and he's so talented, he gets to fill in when they need him. When somebody goes down, he can go in other positions in which it don't kill you. You still can win football games, and he still can make plays. Now, for other people, you can look at the boy Downs and stuff like that, who was at Alabama and who went to Ohio State. They keep those players in one position, and they let them stay there the whole time. So you're just working on your craft in that one position. At Colorado, Coach Prime them does it where they're going to put you in, hey, if they have a need and you're the best player for that need, they're going to put you there. Some people look at it different ways. I look at it as positive, because what happens if you have plans of going to the next level, you need to have more eggs in your basket other than one or two. You need to be more than a one-trick pony. You got to be able to show that team, homeboy, you could put me at safety, you could put me at cornerback, you could put me at the nickel. I can play them all. Or you could put me at linebacker. How much money is a player like that worth compared to a player that he might be a all-pro, but he can only do all-pro at cornerback? So if he get hurt, then what happens? Or not? Well, he don't have to get hurt. You get your safety hurt. Can he help you at safety? No, he gonna tell you, man, all I play is all pro. You ain't gonna put me back there and embarrass me, because if I don't make a play, people gonna look at him a certain way. Stoudemire just make plays, baby. So I tell people, I look at him different. When you as skilled as he is, and if you wanted to make him all conference and all American, just keep him in one position. Keep him in one position, don't move him, and let him master his craft. But that's just me. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah, they moved him in a lot of places. That's what Coach Ryan would do whenever they. It's good to have a player that can do like that. They can move around. They can play different positions. But I ain't gonna say what I want to say. But anyway, when you look at also Bentley, the way he played all year, what you think about Bentley, the way he played all year?
I have to let me preface this here. Bentley was injured.
Yeah, he
And
got that.
I have to that turf toe. People don't realize, man. That took Coach Prime out himself with that turf toe. I'm talking about great players. Turf toe has taken out a many men. If my boy 50 Cent say, so I have to go on this premises. He was hurt, and to be hurt, and he played every game. And not only did he play every game, he played every game hard. He was prepared. And on some of them, I'll put it to you this way, B-Wise. Man, when you hurt and they know you can't get to that wheel route and they know you can't pivot off that foot and get there, yeah, he got beat on plays. But that's to be said because of the fact that good coaches understand. I'm looking at tape. I'm looking at this guy. I know he's hurt. He's grinding it out, and I can catch him on these plays. And that's going to happen. And Colorado just took that and said, hey, we can settle for that. But we know he's going to be where he's supposed to be on every play. I was happy for the young man. I think Bentley did as well as he could do in the position he was in. He was hurt, and that hampers anyone in football. But he played hard, and he was where he was supposed to be. So that's how I feel about Bentley. I clap that young man. I'm not going to criticize, not clapping. Good job for him. Back to you, B-Wise.
Yeah, that toe injury was something else, man. He couldn't move right. That's why they would beat him on that wheel route all the time on his side. And you got to understand, you got people up there in the stand that say, hey, he hurt on this side. They ain't gonna take him out. You got other coaches out there, they doing their job too, watching your players like we were watching theirs. So, but if they had took him out, who could they put out there in his plays though?
I'll put it to you this way. I don't understand. This is what I'll say. Wester made, if you go back and look at games, the problem with Wester is this one here. Wester needed Swayze at that time to put that weight on him and muscle on him.
Right.
Because the problem with Wester was this. Wester, where he came from, the tackles he was making, he could make it against them players. Giddens them, you couldn't make them plays. See, it's a difference. It's different levels. An NFL running back and a college running back, two different animals. An NFL running back is just like your boy at Arizona State. He's still running. You hit him in the backfield, he still leans forward and get 2 or 3 yards. That's an NFL running back. And when you have a college running back, you hit a college running back, okay, he down. You know, most of them average running back, you hit him and he's down. NFL running backs, when you hit them, they still moving forward. They're going to always go forward and get yards. So that's the only thing I'll say about my man, Wester. But one thing I can say about Wester is this. He was always in the right place. Very smart football player. I think wherever he went, he's going to be very successful. He's reminding me of somebody like Hankerson. He's going to leave Colorado, and he's going to have a big season. And people are going to be like, golly, why? The difference is this. There's different levels to it. If he would have put weight on, if you look at the linebackers now, man, they show these videos, these linebackers now, Salter and all these guys, and even Goldberg. Man, them boys look like they done put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. So when you start putting that muscle mask on and JB ridiculous. JB cock diesel strong. He one of them dudes. You got to tell JB, come on, man. You come on, man. You lifting in the gym. So when you got that kind of strength and you go up there and you hit somebody, you're going to see Salter, JB, you're going to see a difference. When they hit somebody, it's going to be a little different from French. French don't have that weight like they do. French can get to plays, and he's going to be able to go sideline to sideline. But Salter and JB, when they hit somebody, it's going to be you. I guarantee you're going to hear that clacking on TV. When JB and Salter hit people, you're going to hear the commentator say, God, dog, did you hear the – you're going to hear clacking going, and that's football. So that's the difference. You got men. Them grown men there, them cock diesel jokers there, them the ones that you like, man, you lift motors with your hands and pick them up out of cars. So it's a little different for them. So back to you, B-Wise.
Yeah, they got that body mass, man. They got that body mass. And French and Hughes, they don't have that body mass like JB and especially K Salt. K Salt being there, boy, I be saying, dog, they call him Baby Hercules. Yeah, he Hercules, man. They call him Cock Strong. Yeah, he big, man. So that's the thing there. I think somebody in the chat said, did Bentley get picked up by any NFL team that you know of?
I didn't see anything on Bentley, man. Bentley to me reminds me of one of those players. He could go over there in the Rocks League or something like that, have a big season, just like a lot of the players are doing. And it's no shade on anybody. He could go over there, have a big season, and then go from that big season and then go to the NFL, because the NFL, what they're doing, if you look at it, when it comes to the UFL or whatever the Rock League is called, they're picking those players up, man, because the MVPs and stuff like that, those players are getting contracts. So those are things that I look at for players like Bentley. They're not going to be distracted or anything. They're going to be some bad boys when it pertains to that. So I really do think he has a future in the NFL. I do, but it's going to take him some time. And I like what everybody's saying. When the medical tent comes up, the wins come up for Colorado. And I don't just want to see the medical tent come up on the defensive side. When the defense is playing, as physical as our offensive line go, it should be. Medical tent should be coming up, because when Seaton is sweeping and rolling to his left and he's going to that second level, Seaton should have somebody laying down, because he either lay down or get put down is what Seaton needs to put on his shirt. Either you're going to lay down or I'm going to put you down. It's your choice. And you tell me which one you want. Back to you, BY.
Yeah, I want no medical tents to go up. I don't want them coffee tents to go up when they get cold in October and November. I know that. I don't want them kind of tents to go up. But that defense got to hunt this year, Steve. That's all what it is. They got to hunt this year. What about another player that from last year that he played pretty good? Will Shepherd had a little trouble with his physical and everything. I don't know if he ever get picked up. He left a good situation to come to a better situation, but he understood
he's at Denver.
That the talent that was on the team. He's still in Denver?
Yeah, he's at Denver.
Okay, he went to, okay. I didn't know. So I hope things work out for him also. But and when you looked at last year, some of the games that they lost, last year, me personally, I don't think they were disciplined enough in the game they lost. Kansas State, too much. If there's too much going on that shouldn't have went on, and it comes from discipline. When you look at the bowl game, you got to look at. I know you don't, but hey, they weren't disciplined. They weren't ready. They didn't look like they didn't want to play, even though I know they had a lot going on. And when you look at that Nebraska game, they just got outmanned up front. They just, hey, that offensive lineman, I love CC said it right there. That Nebraska game just made you sick. Hey, when I saw the introduction, I knew that game was gonna be over. All that red and all them bombs and fires and stuff went off. I said, man, they gonna be these boys ain't using that like that.
Hey. Them boys, like I told you last time, they used to being in the hood and talking about some bang banging in the hood and all that stuff. They went to the cornfield. And it's a little different than the cornfield. In the cornfield, they go out there, they got their pitchforks, they got fire going, they throwing stuff, they calling you words. It's called Nebraska. They got a big N on their shirt, and they might be calling you a big N on that football field. So it's just totally different. It's just totally different.
I know they heard it in the stands.
Oh, they heard it.
I know they heard it from the stands. I know they heard it.
Oh, absolutely. They call corn huskers, but they might have called them something else with a C in it. But that's something totally different. But with that being said, is this here. Them young men they never seen that coming. Man, that atmosphere at Nebraska. But what it did was, that's true. That is true. Go ahead, young lady. You nailed it on that one. What you saw was this here. It helped them later on down the road because now when they saw it at other places like that, Nebraska helped them at Texas Tech because Texas Tech was,
Oh
man, that was
yeah, yeah, yeah,
brutal.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was brutal.
Oh man, that
But
thing was brutal,
because
there, boy.
that was brutal. That Texas
Yeah,
Tech could have been ugly because they were getting hit with everything.
it could have
It's okay to be
everything.
called. It's okay, you being called a C word or N word, but they hitting you with tacos, burritos, El Salvador's, and everything else. They hitting you with everything but the kitchen sink, and you still got
Yeah,
to play. So with that being said, I
yeah,
think what it did, it opened up their eyes, and also when they went to Colorado State, it still opened up those were games where, man, those fans are vicious. So that Nebraska game opened them up. Those players will never be in another atmosphere like Nebraska. They won't. They won't.
yeah,
They can go. They would have to go to personally. They would have to go to LSU, and it would have to be a night game because in LSU they need to be drunk. They need to be all day. They got to liquor up in LSU. But by the time,
yeah.
that's why if you notice LSU have a lot of late games at 7:30. Oh, they need to be liquored up.
Right.
They ain't losing. They ain't losing. If it's 7:30 at night and they liquored up, oh boy, they will run you out of there. Nebraska,
God.
Ohio State, Michigan. Those atmospheres just change everything. Now, one thing I will say, Colorado used to be like that. When Bieniemy and Fagan them played, and my boy, the one who Sal played, homeboy, you could not come to Colorado. That Buffalo they got right now, he tiptoed. They had a Buffalo back in the day that ran. And that Buffalo was running so hard that it was dragging people. If you didn't keep up with him, he drug you. But all I'm saying is
Mm.
this: Colorado does not take advantage of that altitude. Air Force does, Utah does, and various teams that are in those environments. The Denver Nuggets do, but Colorado have not, and that's something that Coach Prime really needs to look at emphasis on. You got Olympic players that go there and do all that training in Colorado. He needs to get where he can utilize that home field advantage because Georgia Tech should be breathing, should have their hands on their knees in the fourth quarter because you're dragging them and they can't breathe in the fourth quarter. That's what Colorado should do, and it'll definitely help them when it comes to the fourth quarter and tight games. Back to you, B. Watts.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That Nebraska game was rough, boy. I said, man, they handled like man, they handled out front line like they were man child. Them
Hey, hey,
big old boy, man. I think them boy got drafted to the NFL too, didn't it?
yeah, Philadelphia. One got drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles, and Robinson, I think he got drafted. And not only did he get drafted, they said that boy there is he. They had the boy who's from Georgia, Carter. I think Carter was so impressed with him. I read something Carter told me, man, this
Yeah.
boy, this a grown man. This a grown man right here, and Carter ain't no joke. He said this boy, he a grown man, and he's
Nah.
really gonna make an impact. So they look for big things for him. But see, that's where I'm saying with us, B. Watson, Colorado. If Otis and Barnes put that kind of pressure on teams, how good do you
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
defense is? And that's those two guys and that defensive end that they had that went to Florida State from Nebraska that followed their defensive line coach. Man, them guys changed the
Yeah.
entire game. Because two
Yeah.
didn't have a chance. Every time two looked up, them two big boys was in his face. So I'm just
They
saying,
were packed there,
I
boy.
don't know much, but I do know this. Barnes play low. If Barnes stay low and keep his hands low and balance, low man wins, and Otis does
Mm-hmm.
what he's supposed to do. But this is my sleeper. These are my sleepers. If McNeil plays 4 games like he did, if McNeil play like he played at Texas Tech, McNeil gonna be a first or second round draft pick. But see,
Yeah, he played a good
that's
game.
what, and I'm gonna tell you something I do know. I can tell how frustrated Coach Prime is seeing McNeil's, and I can guarantee the other defensive coaches too, to see McNeil's talent and to see that sometimes he's invisible And then you got that game at Texas Tech, where Texas Tech got some very good offensive linemen. Man, McNeil looked like he was the best defensive player on that field, period. So you got game changers that Colorado had. I'll give you another one. Wade. Wade had 4 games in which I thought Wade was LT for a minute over that side. I ain't going to say, let me stop that. I'll go TJ Watts. I'm going to go TJ Watts because I ain't nobody LT. I won't get anybody close to LT. That would be a lie and a whole lie and nothing but a lie. But I'll say for 4 games, that boy looked good on that side. So all I'm saying is this, B. Watts, Colorado has players, and I ain't going to Arden Walker. If they put it together as one, with that front 7 and the way the coaching they're getting, I just see things a little different. If they stay focused, I want them like Bill Belichick. Do your job. I don't need you to be a superstar. Do your job. And if they do their job, it won't take them 4 games to get a sack. They are going to have that boy that played for Georgia Tech. Oh, they're going to meet him in the backfield because he likes to run. They should meet him back where he's at. And they should get a few sacks because they're going to have some mishandles in that backfield. And he's going to be back there and he's going to be looking, and they should be there to close out and put him on his back. So I just look for big things for Colorado. And it all depends on, does Otis really want it? Does Barnes want to change his family's entire future? Because Barnes needs to look. See, they don't see it like Seton. If you look at Seton, the stuff that Seton is doing, Seton gonna change his whole family. That's generational talent, right? He's gonna change his work ethic and his mindset. His family gonna change generations of Setons. The Seton Express is gonna change generations because the money he's gonna make is gonna change generations for his family. And those other guys like Omarion Miller and those guys. Let me explain something to those young men. You got players on the bench like that boy C.J. Daniels, who always be commentating on Shedeur on the faculty or whatever it is. Those players made millions of dollars just sitting on the bench. If you make it to the league and you handle your business, you get to change your family's life forever. And what accomplishment is that? And the only thing you got to do is just apply yourself. If they apply themselves, you're going to see the difference. Watch when Seton leave. When Seton leave, it ain't going to be no doubt. Seton is going to leave, and they're going to be like, man, top 5 pick, period. And you ain't no debate, and ain't no team turning up an all-pro left tackle that'll be in the league 15 years. They ain't turning that down. No team. Every team in the NFL need a left tackle, all-pro. So with that being said, Colorado has talent. I see the talent, but I'll tell anybody, talent don't win football games. It's people who are determined, focused, have a goal, and that are committed. Those people win football games. And if they're not committed and they're not as one, and they just want to do it by themselves, it's going to be an ugly season, or it's going to be an average season for Colorado. I love what Swayze is doing. He's telling them all about togetherness. You're not going to win by being an individual. You're going to win by being a team. And if you look out, and I'm a New England Patriots fan back in the day, we didn't have the best talent. We had the best individuals who were committed to being the best, which means you had individuals. If you look at football and basketball right now, when teams go to Miami, what you think the first thing those players do? They sneak girls in their room. They go out. They want to party. And that's why the game looks like it looks. You be like, man, this game looks sloppy, especially basketball. You're like this because they was out the night before partying. Football, they go there, they're not focused. They want to party. I'm telling you what I know. And now they get mad at them when they go to telling these stories about girls getting snuck in their rooms and then the coach coming in there looking at them fine and they getting suspended and all that stuff. But all I'm saying is this one here. With New England, you didn't have that problem. It was people in there saying, hey, we're here to win games. You can do that in the offseason. And that's what Colorado has to have. You have to have people saying, hey, I'm going to put these girls to the side. I'm going to put these chains to the side. I'm going to put these cars to the side. Because when you're doing that stuff, you're getting in trouble. Fast cars, fast women, and managed men, trouble. You're going, it's trouble. It's money trouble. It's issues that P Diddy right now. They already got 4 counts. They ain't say he's guilty on anything, but 1 they deliberate. So they already got a decision on 4, 1 deliberate. When you're doing stuff you shouldn't do, trouble. So all I'm saying, Colorado, is this one here. Get focused, young man. You only have a few months, which changes the rest of your life. Get focused and be ready. Just like B. Watts. When he had to work and he was getting ready to retire, he only had a couple months. But he was ready, and he did the right thing. He went to work. I know young folks don't even go to work, but B. Watts went to work. Even though he put all them years in his job, he still went to work. And that's being committed. Back to you, B. Watts.
All right, Uncle Steve, appreciate you, man. We're over this hour. Appreciate you tonight. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, we're doing our last stand. I know everybody want me to continue to talk about Shedeur, but I want to get that thing a rest for a while, y'all, because it's going to work itself out. But we here. We got one more part 3, and that'll be it. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Uncle Steve, give us your last word, and we out of here.
I want to tell everybody, thank y'all for coming out, supporting Sports Talk with B. Watts, Uncle Steve. All the great people out there, we really appreciate you. Y'all do wonderful things. And I will tell you this. Yeah, them snow bunnies, boy, they started to watch our channel now. They see these they see this here. They see the gray, so they like, I need some of that. Some of that gray over there, the gray goose. But with that being said, I'll put it this way to you. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. And B. Watts, I will say this here, and I mean this here. You have the most loyal people I've seen in a long time. When you got Reverend and you got your Miss Phyllis, you got Miss Diane, you Miss CC, I love C. You have people that really support you. And we want to make sure that we be positive and do things. You got your Coach Dre, Rod, man. There you go, Miss Smith. And when I tell y'all, this ain't just words. I don't have to do this because I could do other things. I got young kids and I got old kids and all this other stuff. I got all kinds. I can go from every level. I do it because I really do enjoy coming over here with y'all and y'all make it fun. So God bless y'all. Make sure y'all keep B. Watts prayed up. Keep him out of trouble because he always looking around. Because this old lady realized that she ain't going to let him go by himself no more. She slapped him upside the head because if y'all notice, he always looking around. And a man always looking around. There's a woman right behind him going to slap him right upside his head. So God bless her. Keep on top of B. Watts. And if he look anywhere in the Midwest, if it's snowing, you need to be there to make sure he ain't there either. So God bless you. Have a great day. And we'll see y'all next time. Go ahead, B. Watts. Hit that music.
All right, once again, y'all, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us tonight, being faithful like y'all are. Don't forget this Saturday. I'm serious now. If you don't tune in this Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Miss Phyllis and the ladies will be having ladies' night. So once again, thank you for rocking with Sports Talk with B. Watts along with Uncle Steve, praying for JR safety out there on that lake or wherever you're in the ocean somewhere. God blessing him and his family. All right. Once again, hey, appreciate you, appreciate you, buddy. Love you, man. Love you. Have a good one, man. Enjoy yourself and your family as well. Blessing to you.
Are you practicing to practice or you practicing to be great?
Which way am I going?
Today, bus coming, you on the way.